Moonshining is a craft deeply rooted in American history, a subculture born out of necessity, rebellion, and ingenuity. Over the years, it has transformed from an illicit trade to an iconic television spectacle. Moonshiners, the Discovery Channel series that first aired in 2011, has brought the centuries-old craft of illegal distilling into the homes of millions of viewers. With each season, viewers are treated not only to the drama of moonshiners trying to evade the law, but also to the artistry of their craft. Season 12 of Moonshiners takes this tradition to the next level, pushing the boundaries of creativity and innovation in the distilling process. This season is particularly focused on the idea of ingenuity, as moonshiners are challenged to create new and unique mash recipes that could become game changers in the world of moonshine. But the question remains, who created the most ingenious mash? Let's delve into the craftsmanship, creativity, and controversy that made this season of Moonshiners unforgettable. The rise of a new generation of moonshiners. The world of moonshining has changed since its early days. While the outlaw culture of the Appalachian Mountains remains a powerful part of the history, modern moonshiners are facing different challenges. Legalization in many states, the rise of craft distilleries, and the ever-evolving landscape of flavor profiles have transformed moonshining into a more complex industry. Season 12 introduces a new generation of moonshiners, each bringing their own innovative ideas to the table. For many of these distillers, crafting a mash is not just about producing high-proof liquor, it's about creating an experience. The key to success this season has been pushing the boundaries of traditional recipes, using unusual ingredients, and employing experimental techniques. The goal isn't just to create the best moonshine, it's to create something that stands out in an increasingly crowded market. New twist on mash recipes. Mash recipes are the backbone of any good batch of moonshine. The mash is essentially the fermented grain mixture from which alcohol is distilled. Traditionally, moonshine mash was made with corn, but over time, other grains such as barley, wheat, and rye have become more popular. Some moonshiners even experiment with fruits, honey, and vegetables to create mashes with unique flavors and characteristics. This season, the moonshiners are tasked with creating the most unique mash possible. For some, this means revisiting old recipes passed down through generations, while others look toward the future, experimenting with new techniques and ingredients. Tim Smith's creative mash experiment. Tim Smith, one of the most iconic figures in the Moonshiners universe, has always been known for his rebellious spirit and willingness to push the limits of distilling. Season 12 sees Tim continuing this tradition, but this time, his focus is on the mash itself. He believes that the key to creating the perfect moonshine lies in the ingredients, and he's not afraid to get experimental. Tim's ingenuity shines through as he begins experimenting with a blend of corn, sweet potatoes, and a secret blend of spices. The sweet potatoes, Tim explains, give the mash a smoother texture and a hint of sweetness that you don't get from traditional grains. The spices, which Tim is reluctant to reveal, bring an unexpected depth to the flavor profile. While Tim is confident that his mash will stand out, he faces skepticism from some of the other moonshiners. After all, sweet potatoes aren't exactly a staple ingredient in the moonshining world. But Tim's willingness to take risks and experiment is what makes him one of the most inventive figures in the show. Mike and Jerry's bold rye blend. Mike and Jerry, another pair of veteran moonshiners, have always been known for their traditional methods, but in Season 12, they decide to break away from their comfort zone and experiment with a bold new mash recipe. This time, they combine a variety of rye grains, each sourced from different parts of the country, to create a blend that will elevate the flavor to new heights. Rye has a distinct, spicy flavor that sets it apart from the sweetness of corn. Mike and Jerry's decision to use a variety of rye in their mash recipe reflects their desire to create a more complex, layered flavor profile. Their experiment also has the added benefit of utilizing grains that are more readily available than some of the rarer ingredients, making their mash recipe a more sustainable option. As they work through the fermentation process, the Moonshiners begin to realize that their mash is unlike anything they've created before. The complexity of the rye blend is evident, with subtle hints of spice and earthiness that evolve over time. The end result is a smooth yet robust moonshine with a flavor profile that could rival some of the best craft whiskeys on the market. Tickle's fruity, his humor, and light-hearted approach to moonshining takes a more unconventional route in Season 12. Rather than focusing on traditional grains or roots, Tickle sets his sights on creating a fruity mash. His experiment begins with a blend of apples, pears, and peaches, with the goal of creating a fruit-forward moonshine that appeals to a new generation of drinkers. Tickle's mash is unique not only in its choice of ingredients, but also in the way he distills it. Instead of using the standard pot still, Tickle opts for a column still, which allows him to distill the fruit mash in a way that preserves the delicate fruit flavors. The result is a moonshine that is surprisingly light and refreshing, with the sweetness of the fruit balancing out the alcohol's intensity. As the mash ferments, Tickle's excitement grows. He's convinced that his fruity experiment will be a game changer, and he can't wait to share it with the rest of the group. But as the distillation process progresses, tensions rise as some of the other Moonshiners question the viability of fruit-based moonshine. The question remains: can a fruity mash compete with the traditional grains in the cutthroat world of moonshine? The rivalry, who created the most ingenious mash? As the season progresses, a rivalry develops between Tim, Mike, and Jerry and Tickle. Each moonshiner believes their mash recipe is the most innovative and stands the best chance of impressing the judges. But the competition is fierce, and only one mash can claim the title of a most ingenious. Tim's sweet potato and spice mash brings a level of smoothness and sweetness that's rarely seen in traditional moonshine. Mike and Jerry's rye blend, on the other hand, represents a daring exploration of grain combinations and showcases their skill with complex flavors. Tickle's fruity mash, though unconventional, offers a fresh twist that appeals to modern palates and could potentially carve out a new niche in the market. The Moonshiners are forced to put their differences aside as they come together for the final tasting. With the judges looking on, each moonshiner presents their mash and anxiously awaits the verdict. The judge's decision in the end, it's not just about who created the most inventive mash. It's about who can create a product that balances creativity with quality. After tasting each mash, the judges weigh in. Tim's mash stands out for its smoothness and depth, while Mike and Jerry's rye blend impresses with its complexity. Tickle's fruity mash, while innovative, doesn't quite match the level of sophistication of the other two. In a shocking twist, the judges declare that Mike and Jerry's rye blend is the most ingenious mash of the season. Their ability to balance innovation with tradition wins them the title, but all three Moonshiners walk away with a sense of pride in their creativity and ingenuity. Conclusion: a new era of moonshining. Season 12 of Moonshiners was a turning point in the world of moonshine. The Moonshiners' willingness to experiment with new ingredients and techniques set a new standard for the craft. Whether it was Tim's sweet potato mash, Mike and Jerry's bold rye blend, or Tickle's fruity concoction, each distiller proved that innovation is at the heart of great moonshine. The season showcased not only the creativity of these Moonshiners, but also their commitment to the craft. It's clear that the world of moonshining is evolving, and the future of the industry looks brighter than ever. Whether or not Moonshiners will continue to push the limits of mash making is yet to be seen, but one thing is certain. Season 12 has proven that ingenuity and creativity are alive and well in the world of moonshine. Moonshiners has become an iconic series on Discovery, offering viewers a glimpse into the gritty, hard-working world of illegal moonshine distilling. The show highlights the skills, ingenuity, and often perilous lives of the men and women who make homemade liquor, keeping alive a centuries-old tradition. Season 12 of Moonshiners has upped the ante, introducing even more creative and innovative mashes, along with the ever-present drama that comes with brewing alcohol under the radar. This season, the question on every fan's mind is who created the most ingenious mash. To understand the significance of this question, we first need to look at what makes a good mash, why ingenuity is so important in the world of moonshine, and how each moonshiner on the show approaches their craft. By focusing on the highlights of this season, we can dissect who truly stood out when it came to brewing the most innovative and effective mash. The art of the mash. What makes it ingenious? The mash is the heart and soul of any good moonshine, as it is the mixture of grains, sugar, and water that ferments to produce alcohol. The magic happens when yeast is introduced to the mash, feeding on the sugars and releasing alcohol in the process. The grains used, the fermentation process, and the way